21st of January 2022. Greetings from Rwanda's capital Kigali. Heads up on tonight's edition. People engaged in a cross-border trade between Rusizi and Bukavu have been asking that the hindrances they encounter be addressed once and for all. Dr. Paul Farmer, one of the founders of the non-profit organization Partners in Health, has passed away due to illness. A very good evening to you and welcome to Rwanda Television News. My name is Sam Kalisa. As we begin this edition of the news, let us inform you that President Paul Kagame has been received in Senegal's capital Dakar by President Macky Sall of Senegal ahead of the launch of the Stade du Sénégal, a 50,000-seater multi-purpose Olympic complex which will host football games. Construction of the stadium was began in February 2020 and on Tuesday it will see its opening. And as we move ahead, on a sad note, Dr. Paul Farmer, one of the founders of the non-profit organizations Partners in Health, has passed away due to illness. Sergeant Hode reports.
So, you really just want me to walk?
Yes. The announcement about the death of the doctor was made on Monday, stating that he had died as a result of high blood pressure, a condition he had suffered from for some time. The American, who also had a Rwandan nationality, passes away at the age of 62. In 1987, he was among those to found the non-profit organization Partners in Health that helps to promote the health and livelihoods of people in nations across the globe, in Haiti, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Lesotho, Malawi, Peru, the Navajo Nation in the US, Mexico, Kazakhstan, Russia and Rwanda. In Rwanda, working with the government, the organization has established 2 hospitals and a university. Before, local residents were ever sick and had to travel long distances to get medical attention, and this hospital changed all that. It treats all people, adults and children, and people with cancer. Here they are able to get a person's bone marrow, a procedure I had never seen performed back home. They found cancer in mine and immediately gave me chemotherapy and other medicines. Now I am much better and thank them a lot for it. Doctors here are far more caring towards patients. They give us 3 meals a day and for free.
Thank
you.
In 2019, Dr. Paul Farmer was presented with the Igihango Medal by President Paul Kagame.
For me is extreme composure. I have been lucky enough to be a friend of Rwanda for 2 decades and lucky enough to be a Rwandan citizen for over 1. And I have also considered this country to be my teacher and my friend. And if a country can be incarnate in people, if a nation can be incarnate in people, then I'm sitting in a room full of people who have made this nation a lesson for the world. The best that I can say is Murakoze Chane.
The doctor's courage and determination to help communities around the globe, not just Rwanda, was acknowledged by the president.
You have elevated global health to a level where it should be, and you've brought part of it with you to Rwanda, and what you've done over the years in our country, particularly, has been at the center of our development, Rwanda's development in that sector. Most of the things have really been done around you and your work and with your colleagues, whom through you we also extend gratitude. As you said, looking ahead 20 years, we are still with you and we always appreciate you. Thank you very much.
On Monday evening, President Paul Kagame tweeted the following about the late Paul Farmer. It is hard to find the words to express the sad news of the passing of Paul Farmer, the person, the doctor, the philanthropist. He combined many things hard to find in one person. Paul Farmer, who had a master's degree and PhD from Harvard University, was also the first ever Collocatrons University professor at Harvard and chair of the Department of Global Health and Social Medicine at the Harvard Medical School, chief of the Division of Global Health Equity at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, and of course the co-founder and chief strategist of Partners in Health. Dr. Farmer and his colleagues pioneered novel, community-based treatment strategies that demonstrated the delivery of high-quality healthcare in resource-poor settings. He wrote extensively on health, human rights, and the consequences of social inequality. He was a member of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences and the Institute of Medicine of the National Academy of Sciences, from which he was the recipient of the 2018 Public Welfare Medal in the US. He also authored multiple books. He leaves behind a wife and 3 children.
This is what, for me, is extreme composure.
And indeed, let us say, may his soul rest in eternal peace. And as we move ahead, people engaged in cross-border trade between Rusizi and Bukavu have been asking that the hindrances they encounter be addressed for once and for all.
During a meeting that brought together both sides, Congolese traders highlighted a number of issues that have been hindering their cross-border activities, one in particular. First of all, we thank the government of Rwanda for allowing palm oil to be brought back into the country. The problem is, however, that the import tax on that type of oil has been on the rise. First it was 1,200 Rwandan francs, then 2,000, and now it is 5,000 Rwandan francs. Rwandan traders have a few complaints of their own. Certainly, cross-border trade is not going well. It used to be that many of them would come across the border and buy many goods here in Rwanda, but not anymore. It is evident when you look at our markets close to the border. Officials from the Rwandan Ministry of Trade and Industry have gone on record to state that the concerns that have been raised are being looked into and the appropriate steps to resolve them will be taken accordingly, especially on the matter of taxation of different food products, with a list of 106 products to be exempt from taxation soon to come out. The matter of reinstating a border pass is also being discussed, something that greatly facilitated the cross-border trade before the COVID-19 pandemic broke out.
Thank you very much, Serge, for the report. And as we move ahead, some of the survivors of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi and perpetrators from Rwanda district belonging to different groups say that the lessons learned in one-year period through dialogues enabled them to socialize and promote peace amongst themselves. Andre Harerimana is one of the survivors of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda district in Harama sector, while Nzabonimpa Oscar is one of the perpetrators of the genocide against the Tutsi in the same area. After confessing to the crimes he committed and asking for forgiveness, Nzabonimpa Oscar returned to the community but was always ashamed of what he did. The chairperson of Prison Fellowship Rwanda, Bishop John Ruchahana, says although it has been almost 28 years since Rwanda came out of the genocide against the Tutsi, there is still a long way to go towards healing the wounds caused by this tragedy. This year-long prison fellowship activities in Rwanda district will soon be moved to 5 districts in the country in collaboration with Interpeace, according to Kayitare Frank, Interpeace country representative in Rwanda. Swedish Minister for International Development Cooperation, Matilda Elizabeth, visited the Ntarama Genocide Memorial, where she was told about the tragic history of the 1994 genocide that was perpetrated against the Tutsi. She stressed that her country partners with Rwanda in various fields, including building lasting peace and promoting unity and reconciliation.
That we have very close bonds, and we are partners, Sweden and Rwanda, and that Sweden can contribute to Rwanda's own development agenda when it comes to economic development, gender equality, also fighting climate change, for example, but also these kinds of peace-building process, because reconciliation is an ongoing process, and we will be here to support Rwanda with that.
In Bugesera district, there are about 32 unity and reconciliation groups with 480 members. Residents of the village of the Unity and Reconciliation in Mayanje sector in Bugesera district, who are members of the Twite Zimbere cooperative, have been provided with equipment to help them with agricultural activities. And as we move ahead, a delegation of 6 senators, part of the thematic committee on peace and security in the Parliament of Zimbabwe, are currently in a benchmarking visit to Rwanda that will end on a Friday. The purpose of the visit is to exchange ideas, executing the parliamentary oversight function in the area of security and strengthen ties between the 2 African countries. We have the story with Sidi Patel.
Honorable Senator Dr. David Parinyatwa, the chairperson of Thematic Committee on Peace and Security in the Parliament of Zimbabwe, and other 6 senators members are here for the purpose of exchanging ideas, see for themselves how Rwanda functions, negotiates and transacts trade. Looking at the history of Rwanda and how they overcame the difficulties faced can reflect on the fact that it can work in the sector of peace and security.
As the Parliament and Senate in Zimbabwe, we felt very strongly that Rwanda has got experiences that we can learn from, especially going by your past history and how you have overcome and become a very stable and strong nation within the Africa region. So our thematic committee is based on peace and security. And we believe that Rwanda, the way it has grown, has reflected both peace and security. And we felt as a parliament we should come and exchange views and see on the ground what is happening here. That's why we're here.
We've had time to...
Dr. Augustine Iyamuremye, the Rwandan Senate President, notes that the thematic relations has been deeper as the parliament of both countries, Zimbabwe and Rwanda, has visited each other.
If people visit each other, the international relations strengthen. Adding to it, friendship is not mere words, but actions. We are also seeing these ties in business.
The
business community and investors from Zimbabwe visited Rwanda and vice versa. As representatives of people, we intend to have special friendship between the 2 chambers. We are pleased for their visit.
Senator of Dr. Parinyatwa divulges about the itinerary of the next days of visit in Rwanda.
There is an itinerary that has been prepared by our colleagues here through the President of the Senate here, and we will be visiting various sites, including the 2 places that talk about genocide that you experienced here. And we will also be looking at the one-stop shop facility that you've got here.
Few other places of visit will be the Parliament, various governmental organs, the Chamber of Deputies and outskirts of Kigali city. Sidi Patel, RTV News.
Thank you, Sidi, for the report. And as we move ahead, clients of microfinance institutions believe that the COVID-19 pandemic prompted them to save more so that they can get out of the situations caused by the virus. The management of these institutions also noted that the increase in savings and closer relations with their clients also boosted their assets. We do have the story with Innocent Mugabo.
It is during working hours. People seeking services from microfinance institutions continue. Their clients testify that the difficult times caused by the COVID-19 pandemic taught them to save.
I
have come to deposit money. Saving is very important. For instance, in these times, some who had saved lived a better life since even the government helped us. Also, being able to transfer money of the bank account to mobile money helped us a lot. The increased participation of the population in saving, borrowing and various other services from microfinance institutions were the contributing factors towards the increase in their assets by 16.8% in 2021 to 386 billion Rwandan francs compared to a 5.4% increase in 2020. Loans accounted for 54% of the total assets of these institutions. In SACCOs, loans account for 35% of their assets, and the limited liability companies, special loans account for 63% of their assets, while for loans in other SACCOs account for 72% of the total assets. Some executives of small and medium finance institutions say they have continued to engage in discussions with their clients to figure out what can help them to develop, as the main target of these institutions is to help small business owners grow. Even when some clients wanted huge loans, we advised them to acquire loans they will be able to pay back and also do businesses they are able to handle. Profits from microfinance institutions rose from 8 billion Rwandan francs to 9 billion Rwandan francs in the first quarter of 2021, from 1 billion Rwandan francs during the same period in 2020. This is in line with the decline in non-performing loans from 23 billion Rwandan francs to 14 billion Rwandan francs, reprinting a present age growth of 6.6% from 12.8%. The executive director of the Association of Microfinance Institutions in Rwanda, Muranga Aimable, finds that the increase in the profitability of these institutions and the reduction of non-performing loans gives hope for the continued growth of the sector. On the side of clients, it means that their businesses are going on smoothly, which is why we encourage others who haven't started working with financial institutions to work with them so that their ideas can be financed and can be helped to develop. However, economic analysts also point out that the increase in profits made by financial institutions should go hand in hand with the stability of this sector and increasing the number of their clients. To date, there are 457 microfinance institutions, including 416 sector SACCOs, 22 other SACCOs, and 19 more operating as cooperatives, with total assets of 386 billion Rwandan francs and over 6 million clients.
Gracious Innocent for the report. And as we move ahead to other matters, banana farmers in Gatsibo district have commended the government for its efforts to help them develop, but ask that they also be facilitated with being able to insure their crop.
Gatsibo district in the eastern province has vast banana plantations grown on 18,678 hectares of farmland, and thanks to modern farming methods, 1 hectare can produce as much as 23 tons of bananas.
Banana
farming has helped me to develop a lot because I harvest every 2 weeks and make around 800,000 Rwandan francs when I sell my bananas, around 8 tons. So every month I make far more than 1 million Rwandan francs. When I first started growing bananas, I did not do it properly, using older types of trees and not getting good results. After we were trained on modern farming methods, I switched to the newer types and everything changed. I started with 2.5 acres of land and now I have 6.5 hectares, thanks to the profits I got over the years selling my bananas. I also got these cows thanks to them. The banana farmers do, however, have a serious problem. We are very disturbed by the fact that bananas are not covered by insurance. You know how climate change has been affecting farming, and strong winds sometimes come and blow down our banana trees. When that happens, we have to incur the losses, which can be a great hindrance. Then there are diseases, especially banana rust strips. When they attack a banana plant, getting rid of them is very difficult, and specialized pesticides cost 90,000 Rwandan francs for 5 liters. Small banana farmers simply cannot afford that. Despite such challenges, banana farming in Gatsibo district has increased by 30% over the last 3 years. Good as this may be, it does unfortunately present yet another challenge for farmers. We have no banana processing plants in this area, which is another challenge for us. We are forced to sell our produce to merchants from Kigali and they dictate the price to us. But seeing that we have nowhere else to sell our bananas, what else can we do other than give them the bananas? We don't have a choice. Local officials say they are working to address the concerns the farmers have raised. Among the issues they had previously told us about, a processing plant and insurance were not included. We have taken all that into account and will look into our budget from the central government to see how we can address this. And anything we are unable to handle, we will send to JAF, our development partners, so that they too can lend a hand. There is also the problem of getting the bananas to markets because the local roads are not in the best condition. And the Vice Mayor said they will be soon upgraded. He also urged the farmers to consolidate their banana plantations so that buying things like pesticides does not prove too heavy a burden for them as individuals.
And on behalf of the entire news production team that made it happen, thank you very much for being with us. My name is Sam Kalisa. Have a safe evening and a fruitful week ahead. Goodbye.